Did you know that Florida has 4 down payment assistance programs that the Florida Housing Corporation oversees? The most widely known program is the Florida Hometown Heroes program. But did you know that there are 3 other programs? Hi, my name is Amy Brown. I'm a realtor with Compass in Orlando. Let's dive right in to the Florida Housing Corporation down payment assistance programs and see if one of them might be a right fit for you. So just in general, there are 4 types of down payment assistance programs. There's a grant. That's where you do not have to pay the money back, and fewer of these are available. Roughly 9.4% of all DPA programs are grants. So the rest, the vast majority, fall into one of the other categories. Next up is forgiveness. That's where a percentage of the down payment assistance over time is forgiven. And that's a pretty good deal as well. Actually, all of these are for various reasons. Deferred. This money is due back when an action occurs. That means maybe you refinance, maybe you sell the house, or wonderful day, the mortgage matures and you no longer have a mortgage. You owe that money back. So that is deferred. And lastly, loan. This is an actual loan with an interest rate and a term of payment. So those are the 4 types. And just to briefly go over this next topic, borrower eligibility. I'm going to put this up here. This is a graph made by the Florida Housing Corporation. You can go ahead and take a screenshot. I'm going to leave it up for a few minutes. You need to satisfy all of these 6 requirements. You must meet the IRS definition of a first-time home buyer. And there are some exceptions if you're a veteran. It just basically means you have not had a primary residence, you've not owned a primary residence in the last 3 years. This program, these DPA programs, down payment assistance programs, are not meant to assist investors. They are meant to get first-time home buyers into homes. So keep that in the back of your mind when you hear some of these rules. That's what they're getting at. You have to have a home buyer education class, and I can, if you contact me, I'll give you a link to a home buyer education class. Even if this wasn't required, it's a really good idea. I've had many clients take these classes and have said to me that they were so glad they did, and they would recommend them to anyone buying a home, not just first-time home buyers, because if you haven't bought a home in several years, things change, and it's just really good information. Next up, and you have to have a certain amount of income for the program you're looking at. There are sale price limits, loan limits, and each one of these programs has a different limit. So you definitely want to get with a loan officer who works with these programs all the time, and they can assist you to make sure that your income fits within these loan limits. You also just need to qualify for the mortgage, period. You have to contact a lender that works with these programs, and they're going to, run a credit check on you. They're going to look at your financial documents and make sure that you actually qualify for the loan. So that's important too. There is a maximum debt to income ratio that you have to be below. For a conventional, it is 50%. You might hear my dogs in the background. They're just saying hi. And the Florida Housing requires a minimum of a 640 credit score. So if you are thinking about Hometown Heroes, and I'm going to get to that later on in the video, but if that's something you're thinking about, make sure right now that you contact all 3 of the credit reporting agencies and pay for your reports, and make sure that your FICO scores are where they need to be. And if they're not where they need to be, we definitely want to start working on those and get those well above the 640. Hi, Stella.
Her legal expertise was a huge benefit to us throughout the whole process from the beginning to the end, and she really looks out for her clients.
First up, the first down payment assistance program we're going to talk about is the Florida Assist program. This is deferred down payment assistance. This program provides up to $10,000 of funds for down payment or closing costs for government loans, that's FHA, VA, USDA, and conventional loans, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. There is a 0% interest rate, no monthly payments. This is recorded as a second mortgage. The principal is deferred until the sale of the property, the transfer of the deed, or refinance, or when the home is no longer your primary residence. Or, wonderful day, your loan matures. You've lived in the house for 30 years and boom, you no longer have a mortgage. So this always has to be repaid. It's not a grant, it's not forgiven, but it's really a wonderful program.
Being a first-time home buyer, it was very scary. I was nervous. I didn't know where to start or what to do. I'm so happy that I made the call to Amy. She and her team were simply amazing. From viewing homes to putting in an offer, there was never a question Amy didn't answer.
The second up is the Florida HLP loan down payment assistance. This provides up to $10,000 in funds for down payment and closing cost assistance, and it has a 3% fixed rate mortgage over 15 years with monthly payments of $69.06. This is recorded as a second mortgage. The loan balance will be due upon the sale, transfer, the deed. Your home is no longer your primary residence. You turn it into a rental. This is always repaid. It's not a grant. It's not forgiven.
During the process, dealing with it from out of state, Amy was very responsive, paid attention to detail, gave suggestions. And after working with Amy, I would consider her a longtime friend now. So again, if you're looking for your realtor, go with Amy Brown.
Next up is the Florida Plus program. This is forgiveness. Doesn't it feel good to be forgiven? Yeah, that sounds great. Sign me up. I want to be forgiven. Borrowers utilizing these down payment funds and closing costs program funds can receive up to 3%, 4%, or 5% of the total loan amount in a forgivable second mortgage. This second mortgage is forgiven at 20% per year over a 5-year term. There is 0% interest. There are no payments due. It is recorded as a second mortgage for the 5-year term. If you do sell your home, refinance, make your home into a rental, something along those lines, your home's no longer your primary residence, the unforgiven balance would be due. So let's give an example of what that would look like. If you took $10,000 in down payment assistance and you sold this property after 3.5 years, you should not do that, by the way. Call me and I'll explain that to you, but that's a bad idea. 3.5 years from the purchase date, your forgivable amount would be $6,000 because you're looking at 3 years times the 20%, so that 60% of $10,000, $6,000 would be forgiven. The unforgiven amount would be the remainder, $4,000. That's 40% of the $10,000. So this is the only forgiveness program that the Florida Housing Corporation DPA handles.
And we used Amy Brown from Compass as our realtor, and we could not have made a better choice.
We were first-time home buyers from out of state, so she made what would have been a really, really scary process seamless for us.
Yeah, she was able to help us find the home of our dreams within a matter of a few weeks. We made an offer on it immediately, and with her magic touch, the sellers accepted right away, and the settlement and closing process was as seamless as it could have been.
Last up, the Florida Hometown Heroes program. This is the one everybody talks about. It's a great program because they'll give more funds, but these other programs are pretty awesome as well. So let's dive into what it is. It provides up to 5% of the total mortgage amount, not to exceed $35,000 in funds for down payment or closing cost assistance. It's 0 interest rate, no monthly payments. It's recorded as a second mortgage. The deferred principal is until the sale, the transfer. You know it by now. When it's no longer your primary residence or you refinance, this is always repaid. It's not a grant. It's not forgiven. Payments are not required on the Florida Hometown Heroes program, but borrowers can choose to make monthly payments. And, for about $100 per month, that would probably be a really good idea if I were using this program. It's just something to think about. Okay, currently, as I film this video, the Hometown Heroes program is out of funds. The other 3 programs never run out of funds. So that's pretty exciting. So there's definitely something to be said for the other 3 programs. Hometown Heroes, however, wait. It's an election year. So guess what? It's highly likely that the Florida governor will sign the legislation for the Live Local Act, which will provide additional funds for the Hometown Heroes program. And due to the state of Florida fiscal year dates, the soonest these funds would be available is July 1, 2024. But I need to stress that these funds are not guaranteed to happen. The governor has not yet signed the legislation. I'm sure when he does, it will make local news. I'll put out a video about it just to let people know. But just be watching for that. I just sense it's going to be any day. So stay tuned. These funds, just like last time, there have been 3 different times when there has been funding provided to this program. The funds don't last long. Once they're gone, they're gone. It's like an all-defined aisle of shame. Once the item is gone, it's gone. So what should you be doing now, today, given that it's highly likely that the governor will sign this legislation? You should be doing what I mentioned earlier. You should be checking on your credit scores. Get your credit score as high as you can. And if you're thinking of buying soon, contact me. I'm going to put you in touch with a lender that works with this program all the time, is an award-winning lender, I should say, so that you get all your ducks in a row. You're ready to go. You're looking at houses so that when that new funding likely hits on July 1st, 2024, you have a contract that you can give to your loan officer and they can reserve the funds in the Florida Hometown Heroes program. So, the earlier you contact me, the better off you will be. We'll get you on the right road to home ownership, and one of these programs will hopefully fit for your situation. It doesn't work for everyone because, again, credit scores, income limits, that kind of thing, but it does help thousands of Florida homeowners. And I would love to have you added to that list. I've helped many first-time homebuyers purchase homes. I'd like to help you as well. So please reach out to me. My information is below in the description. I'm going to put it up here as well. Thanks for watching.